7 people at the top of their industry just said no to one of the biggest forms of recognition. And the more I think about it, the more I respect them. Not because recognition is meaningless, not because awards are automatically bad, but because sometimes the most powerful decision you can make is to stop allowing another person's system to determine the value of your work. Today, all 7 members of BTS shared that they will not submit their music for consideration at the 2027 Grammy Awards. I'm a relatively new BTS fan, a newer army, but the more I learn about how they approach creativity, discipline, success, and their relationship with their fans, the more impressed I become. This decision stayed with me. The specific decision they announced was that they will not submit their music for consideration at the 2027 Grammys. Their message expressed the hope that music could be heard and appreciated for what it is rather than being divided according to region or language. This follows the Recording Academy's introduction of 5 new Grammy categories, including Best Asian Pop Music Performance. The Academy describes that category as recognizing Asian pop music, including music such as K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop, with meaningful use of one or more Asian languages. Some people see that as overdue recognition and greater representation. Others are concerned that it could create a separate room for Asian artists rather than allowing them to be recognized throughout the wider pop landscape. I think that is an important and legitimate conversation. What struck me about the BTS response was its restraint. They did not give us a long public argument. They made their decision. And sometimes a clear decision says more than an angry explanation ever could. To be clear, this is not a takedown of the Grammys. Awards can celebrate excellence. They can open doors. They can introduce artists to new audiences. They can provide meaningful recognition for years of effort. My question is, what happens when we give an institution too much authority over our understanding of our own worth? Because recognition and worth are not the same thing. I'm building this YouTube channel right now, and I'm thrilled every time another person subscribes, comments, or tells me something I said helped them. This channel just reached 190 subscribers, and that recognition means something to me. It tells me that I'm improving. It tells me the work is connecting. It tells me that perhaps I'm creating something useful and worth continuing. But the subscriber number cannot be the place where my identity lives. Recognition should be information. It can show us that someone noticed. It can confirm that our work is connecting. It can encourage us to continue, but it cannot be the sole source of our value. An award can recognize excellence. It cannot create excellence. A title can recognize leadership, but it cannot create leadership. An institution can acknowledge meaningful work, but it cannot erase the value of that work simply by failing to recognize it. And I think many capable people are living according to the wrong scoreboard. We stay in careers, organizations, roles, relationships, or routines because we think leaving them would mean that we failed. We continue pursuing a title because we've already invested years trying to earn it. We keep auditioning for rooms that we are no longer certain we even want to enter. We seek approval from people or systems without stopping to ask whether their approval still deserves that much power over us. And sometimes we work harder and harder inside a structure that no longer fits. Then assume the discomfort means we need to work even harder. I recently made a professional change. I'm still working in my field, but I chose a different professional structure because the previous one was no longer the right fit for this season of my life. Different structures suit different people and different seasons of our lives. What I can honestly say about my own decision is that I feel lighter, and that relief told me something. Sometimes we stay somewhere long after it has stopped fitting because staying looks responsible and leaving looks risky. We worry about what other people will assume. We worry that changing direction will make our previous effort look wasted. We worry that leaving means we were not capable of succeeding. But clarity sometimes arrives as relief. Not because the entire experience was bad, not because everything that came before was a mistake, not because anyone needs to be publicly blamed, simply because we finally admitted that continuing was no longer the right choice for us. And that is what this BTS decision brought up for me. What I continue to respect is their apparent willingness to take their work extremely seriously without behaving as though an outside institution gets the final vote on whether that work matters. They work extremely hard. They continue evolving creatively. They care deeply about what they produce and the people receiving it. Their music has connected people across generations, countries, and languages. An award could acknowledge that. The absence of an award cannot erase it. So the lesson I'm taking from this is not that outside recognition never matters, The lesson is that recognition should be feedback, not identity. It can tell us that someone noticed. It can help us measure progress. It can open meaningful opportunities. But it should not become the place where our self-respect lives. Perhaps the more useful questions are, am I proud of the work I'm doing? Am I improving? Am I serving or helping the people I want to help? Am I acting according to my values? Am I remaining somewhere because it still fits or because I'm afraid of what leaving might mean? And am I trying to win according to a scoreboard I would not choose for myself today? Those questions matter more than whether every person, organization, or institution understands us. And this is particularly timely for me because tomorrow I'm sharing the practical side of this lesson. It involves 2 concerts and 1 very short weekend. My first meaningful solo adventure in a couple of years. And my realization that I have spent far too long postponing experiences that make me feel alive. Today is about recognizing when outside approval no longer gets to define our worth. Tomorrow is about what happens when we use that freedom to start living differently. I would genuinely love to know what you think. Can an institution create greater representation while still unintentionally placing artists in a separate box? And have you ever realized you were seeking approval from a title, a person, or a system that no longer deserved so much authority over your life? Please share your perspectives respectfully below. We do not all have to interpret this decision identically to have a thoughtful conversation about it. And until next time, keep building a life you're excited to live.